Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Blind. I'm your host, Tipase Biza. Today, I'm with the biomedical engineering student, Kelvin Bwande, from MAST. Yeah, he's a fourth year student. Am I right?
Yes.
All right. Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
Can you share with us your academic background?
As it was said earlier on, I'm Kelvin Bwande, coming from Kasungu. So I started my school at the West Primary School, last year Wimbe. I did my standard 1 up to standard 5. After that, I went to another school called primary school. That's where I did my standard 5 up to standard 8 primary school. After that, that's where I was selected to go to Loyola Jesuit Secondary School. I was there for the complete 4 years, from Form 1 up to Form 4. And from Loyola, that's when I was selected to go to MAST to study biomedical engineering. Sure.
Alright, so what inspired you to study biomedical engineering?
Biomedical engineering has always been my passion since I was a kid. I was told by my mom to say when I was young, about 3 years of age, I suffered from pneumonia, and it was very horrifying by that time. So when I was taken to the hospital, when I was referred to Kasungu District Hospital, I was put on an oxygen machine that would supplement my oxygen, because by then I wouldn't breathe properly. So according to what I was taught, the bed that I was laid were 7 kids, and the 2 of us made it alive. The rest, they died. May their souls rest in peace. So from the moment I heard of the story, I just started thinking to say, by that time I was looking at the cause of the death to say, how and why did it happen to say all these 5 kids died and I survived. At the same time, I also asked my mom how she used to offer the treatment that made it different from the rest of the kids. So when I learned about all that, it just gave me a picture to say I have to do biomedical engineering, and maybe in the future I should also offer services so that those kind of deaths shouldn't happen again in the future. Sure.
Alright, other people might be wondering what biomedical engineering is. So can you just tell us what it is all about?
First of all, in the hospital, we do have doctors and nurses, which almost every one of us know what they do. But then we usually forget that in the hospital there are medical machines, medical appliances. These medical machines, they function just as any other machine that is available out there. You talk about cars, you talk about motorbikes, what have you. And these machines, they need regular maintenance and cleaning. So biomedical engineering is a program, or it's a course that specifically looks on these medical machines. So we can say biomedical engineers are the doctors of the medical machines. So as I said earlier on about what inspired me to become a biomedical engineering, it was about these machines. So when I learned about the machines in the hospital, and when I started to think to say what might have been the cause of an increased death rate by then, and then the reduced death rate that we have right now, I found out that it might be due to the faults that the machines had that needed regular maintaining. These machines don't only need maintenance, they also need cleaning. So biomedical engineers are people who are trained, specifically trained to work on that, on how to repair, clean, and maintain these machines. So basically we can say biomedical engineers, these are the engineers who specifically work in the hospitals, and they work on medical machines, medical appliances that involves maintaining and repairing of these machines. It can also be a broad program that can focus on renovations and production of these machines. Biomedical engineers can come up with ideas of how to bring in new materials in the hospital. So like for example, in our country, Malawi, there are not those industries that can produce medical machines. We're talking of machines like oxygen concentrators, we're talking of patient monitors, even thermometers. They cannot be made in our own country. So biomedical engineers are the ones who are specifically trained on making those machines. So it can be a broad program where you can also look at that angle to say biomedical engineers, these are those people who can design and produce medical equipments. They can come up with new versions of medical equipments. Maybe you can also say using the local available materials that you can have in the country. So basically, biomedical engineers specify on medical equipments. They work on and with medical equipments. Sure.
Right. How can you describe your journey as a biomedical engineering student?
As a biomedical engineering student, I started my first year at MAST, that was in 2021. After that, when I was in second year, first semester, I had to visit Machinga District Hospital, where by then all I wanted was to gain experience and what environment or how do this biomedical engineering really work on the ground. Because area all I would hear was theoretically to say, okay, this is what biomedical engineering is, this is what biomedical engineering does, and what have you. So when I visited Machinga District Hospital, that's when I had the clear overview of what a biomedical engineering is, the type of machines that you can find in the hospital, how you can maintain them, how you can work on them, and many more. So after that, when I went back to school, that was for my second semester, I was learning with a clear picture of what to expect on the ground. So from there on, I've made few visits to hospitals, sometimes to work there, sometimes just to learn. So from that time up until now, I can say I have that experience on the ground and also experience in class of what biomedical engineering is. Basically, I cannot say it has been a simple journey. it has had challenges, several of them, and it's only God's grace that we keep on continuing. So some of the challenges that we can state include the academic pressure. Basically, all programs are tough, but then when we look at the angle of engineering, especially biomedical engineering, which deals with, which combines two programs, the biomedical part and at the same time the engineering part, it gives you it requires you to learn about the biology of a human being. At the same time, when you go to engineering, it gives you the knowledge of the machines. So when you're learning, you have to bring these two different fields together. So that's what makes biomedical engineering one of the tough programs. So that's part of the challenges that have been faced. At the same time, you also look at the survival, the well-being for you be a student. So the journey has had those kinds of challenges where you have to survive all those challenges in order for me to keep on going. But so far, I can say I'm on the right track and things are going as I expected or as I planned earlier on. Sure.
All right. Let me take you back. When you looked your Form 4 exams, I hope you applied for J.
Yes, I did.
When applying for J, was biomedical engineering your first choice?
As I said earlier on, biomedical engineering, it's a passion for me to do biomedical engineering. It has always been my passion to do biomedical engineering. So after writing my Form 4 exams and then the results were out, and I saw that I had done well, that I qualified for biomedical engineering. I didn't hesitate, but that was my first choice when I was applying, because I knew that if I miss out being a biomedical engineering, that means it would have taken me maybe years for me to come back and say, let me pursue biomedical engineering. So when I was applying for J, biomedical engineering was my first choice. And maybe to be clear, by then, I only had two choices that I really wanted to do with my whole heart. That was biomedical engineering and civil engineering in transportation. So I put first biomedical engineering and then civil engineering. The rest of the programs, I don't really remember how I arranged them, but biomedical engineering was my first choice, and I should say I was very lucky that I got picked with my first choice to do biomedical engineering at MAST. So,
why do you think biomedical engineering is important in health sector?
Biomedical engineering is as much important as you talk of doctors and nurses. This is because biomedical engineers are the ones who know complete details about the machines that get to be used in the hospital by these doctors. You talk of different machines. We have x-rays, we have anesthesia machines, we have ventilators. All these machines require biomedical engineers. Biomedical engineers are required to teach doctors how to use these machines. They're also required to teach them on how they can take care of these machines. To say, what can you do after working with the machines on patients. How can you make sure that you're protecting yourself from patients when you're using the machines? When the machines are having faults, what can you do? What are the doctors expected to do? All this information comes from the biomedical engineers. At the same time, whenever there's a problem, a biomedical engineer is the first person or is the required person to troubleshoot these machines so that they can find out what's wrong with these machines. When they find out what's wrong, they are also the ones who are required to work on these machines to fix them. So, as you can see that in the hospital, there are a lot of these machines that are used. We talk of operating on patients, different operations. There are some treatments that require biomedical engineers. We can talk of nebulizers, which are machines that are used to provide medicine to patients using mist. You just put a mask on these patients on their faces, and then they get treated. They get treatment through their nostrils. So all these machines, by the end of the day, they will require their doctor to check on them if they're working normally, at the same time to fix them if they're not working normally. Because the moment the machine is not working properly, it won't offer the desired function to the patient. It won't offer the required treatment to the patient. We end up suffocating. Yeah. So when these biomedical engineers work on these machines, that's when you find out that they're working normally. So that is how these biomedical engineers are important. In short, they complement whatever the doctors do. So without biomedical engineers, death rates would probably be higher than what it is normally. For example, we can take it from when we were hit by COVID-19 pandemic. Back then, we barely had biomedical engineers in our country. We barely had biomedical engineers in our hospitals. And we had an increased rate of deaths from COVID-19. When the government employed biomedical engineers, there was somehow a decreased rate, a decreased death rate, simply because these biomedical engineers worked hand in hand with the doctors and nurses in ensuring that the proper treatment is offered to the patients. So that can be an example of how these biomedical engineers are important. I also talked about biomedical engineers coming up with innovations of medical equipments, designing and producing these medical equipments. It's important because if these biomedical engineers work hand in hand and maybe start producing these machines locally in our country, we'll end up seeing that the government will spend less money on ordering or buying machines from outside the country, and these machines will be made locally in our own country. They can also work on improving these machines. Every other machine needs an upgrade. The cars that used to be available back then in 90s, in 20 Martins, and the cars that we have now are completely different. And you hear people saying that car is an old model. Why? Simply because there have been an upgrade after years up to now. So it's all the same with the medical equipments. They need an upgrade. For example, we can talk of thermometers. We have had different kinds or different models of thermometers. or what used to be available back then, or the equipment that we used to use to measure body temperature ain't the same as what we are using right now, simply because biomedical engineers have worked on these machines and they've come up with simple but very accurate equipments. The same applies to different medical equipments that we find in the hospitals. But medical engineers have come up with all those improvements, and that's why the machines right now are more effective than they used to be back then. So that is also an important part of biomedical engineers. So if these biomedical engineers are given right materials, they're given right trainings, right education, in the coming years, we'll end up witnessing Malawi producing their own medical equipments, which will be very important to the country's economy. Sure.
All right. Earlier on, you said that biomedical engineering is not an easy course, right?
Yes.
Okay, how many were you when you were in your first year?
In our class, we enrolled 31 of us who, or in short, let me say, we registered 31 of us in first year. But from then up to now, like from first year up to fourth year as I'm speaking, we are remaining 19 of us in our class. Of course, we can say we are 23 of us because of our friends who joined us. Some joined us in second year and others joined us in third year. But for those that we started the course together, we are 31 of us and we are remaining 19 of us, which means 12 of us. Some of them repeated, and unfortunately, some of us got weeded. Sure.
All right. I understand that you are doing your internship at Queen's.
Yes.
All right. Can you share your experience?
So being at Queen's these past 2 months has really been amazing, because in the past 3 years I've learned so much theoretically, but coming for internships has really given me the true picture of what I am to expect on the ground. So I've worked with senior engineers at Queen's Hospitals, visited different wards, worked with different machines, fixed different machines, installed several machines, and I was lucky to attend a workshop training on how some machines also work, on how you can troubleshoot different machines, on how you can fix different machines. So I can say my experience at Queen's has really been amazing, simply because whatever I've been learning in class, I've been able to apply it on the ground, and I've also gained different skills that I'm sure will shape me into a better biomedical engineer when I finish my studies in the coming 2 years. Sure.
Right. Reaching this far, have you ever, like, even for a day, regretted doing this course?
I wouldn't say really regret. If anything, it's something that I've enjoyed most. But looking at the challenges that I've faced, I would say there are times that I've said maybe I should have done a different course. and that has come because of the challenges that have been faced being a biomedical engineer. But I wouldn't say I regret, because as I said earlier on, this has always been my passion. So there's never been regrets doing biomedical engineering, but it's only been the challenges that has made it harder and difficult to pursue biomedical engineering.
Alright, what are your short-term and long-term goals as a biomedical engineer?
Currently, I would say my short-term goals are focusing or making sure that I become a fully acquired biomedical engineering. So as I am doing my studies at MAST, I'll make sure that I put as much effort as I can in order to complete this course. After that, be of service to the nation, be of service in the hospitals. Make sure that machines are always in good conditions, making sure that the death rates are reduced because we have perfectly working machines. So that I can say those are my short-term goals, to make sure that I become a fully equipped biomedical engineer. Talking of long-term goals, I look forward into collaborating with my fellow students, be it those that have already graduated, those that are in my class, and maybe those that are coming behind us, so that maybe in the near future in Malawi we should have a company that should specifically focus on producing biomedical producing medical equipments, making sure that we can also having several innovations of these medical machines. And also having this company might help because not all the hospitals that are available in Malawi have biomedical engineers. There are some who will be requiring services of biomedical engineers, not on permanent basis, but maybe just some who can just come and maybe fix their machines, or maybe they can also bringing those machines to say maybe fix for us an anesthesia machine, fix for us a dental chair, fix for us an electric bed. So this company will be looking on that to say we should be able to fix those machines maybe at a neutral venue, not specifically in the hospitals. We also have several machines, old models, some machines that that are failing right now, that are not working. Maybe because their spare parts are not available in the country. Maybe their spare parts are very expensive outside the country. This company will also be saving, making sure that they should they should be coming up with those spare parts of the machines that are failing, so that they can fix them and make sure that they are back to full services. Some of the machines that may be out of repair, they can be reused and using the materials to make other machines. So the company will really be a broader thing, because it will help in making sure that we no longer have to access experts from outside the country, maybe to come to fix the machines for us. We will no longer just be throwing away old machines that are no longer functioning. We will no longer having dead machines in the hospitals, because this company will be able to look at all those angles, to fix on the most critical machines, to fix to fix the machines that have been dead for a long time, and also to come up with spare parts that will be used to fix the machines whose spare parts cannot be found recently.
Alright. What can you advise the Form 4 students or the primary students that are listening to us on the podcast?
I can advise them to work hard and always focus on their dreams. They should, first of all, they should set their dreams. And when they set their dreams, they should be passionate about it. When they do that, when they'll be working hard, they will know what they're chasing. And when they're doing that, they should also have in mind to say whatever they're going to study in the university is not as simple as it can look on the paper. Every course is difficult, but it only takes passion and hard work for one to succeed. So they should work hard and set their goals so that they should be able to chase these goals.
How about those that are also dreaming of pursuing medical engineering? What subjects should they work hard in?
They should specifically focus in the science students. That's biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and not forgetting English, which is a fundamental subject.
Alright. Any last words?
Thanks for having me on your show. Sure.
Right. So this is the end of our podcast. To my audience, don't forget to like and comment. Yes, until next time, until the next episode. Yeah, bye.